Shabbat Shalom. It is good to be here this morning. Like we always say, thankful for another Sabbath. Just been wore out, just tired. Thankful for another day of rest that Yah has given us. He has commanded us, and He shows us His love by telling us to take a day off. So we're just very thankful for that. We're going to go ahead and start this morning. If you would, let us stand and turn to Psalm 34. Psalms 34 and verse 11. Come, you children, listen to me. Let me teach you the reverence of Yah. Who is the man who desires life, who loves many days in order to see good? Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking deceit. Turn away from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. The eyes of Yah are on the righteous, and His ear unto their cry. The face of Yah is against evildoers, to cut off their remembrance from the earth. Crying out, and Yah heard and delivered them out of all their distresses. Yah is near to the brokenhearted and saves those whose spirit is crushed. Many are the evils of the righteous, but Yah delivers him out of them all. So let's lift up our eyes. Yah, Almighty, Elohim, there's none beside you, no one like you, no one is your equal. And just thank you for how you have brought us this far. You have revealed yourself to us and allowed us to forsake all idols. We understand that in the last days, Yah, that everyone will know who you are. When you bring the distress upon the earth and people try to turn to their idols and you just prove to them that they are not gods. Thank you for this time, Yah, that you give us. It's just a great honor to even teach your word, to know you, Yah. We just want to lift you up on high. Thank you for everyone that is here, everyone that might be listening to your word, for people that might have questions about who you are. Yah, just let us be a light and understanding to your word, to just preach it in truth and plainly so all can understand. Thank you for who you are. Have mercy on us, Yah. Speak for us, I pray. Baruch Hashem, hallelujah, amen. So, talk about the fear of Yah. We had mentioned a couple times last week and the week before about if you do not respect Yah, you do not reverence Yah, you will not obey Him. You do not listen to Him. And even as it talks about the fool has said in his heart, there is no God. So what do they want to do? They want to be foolish and they want to do their own thing. So if you do not respect Yah, you will not follow Yah. People have more respect for the false Messiah than they do for God, following after Him, saying there's a new law of love. That's a whole nother story. If you do not respect Yah, you will not follow Yah. So let's learn about the reverence of Yah this morning. Psalms 34 and verse 11. Come, you children, listen to me. Let me teach you the reverence of Yah. Now, I think that it's very important how he is addressing the people here, because you have to really consider you got to come like a new person. You got to come like a child. And the reason that I say that is because what you have learned, you are learning something new. Okay? It's brand new to you. You have to learn this new knowledge. You are as a child. Let me teach you as a child so you can learn these new things. So, come you children, listen to me. Let me teach you the reverence of Yah. So that teach is lamad. If you've ever seen the symbol for lamad, it is a staff. So, it is a staff. It is to learn, to teach. Let me exercise you in this, or let me give you exercises. Be taught, be trained. It is a rod. You will be expert, you will be skillful in the fear of Yah, the respect of Yah. The fear is yirah. It is fear, terror, awesome. It is the respect of Yah, the reverence of Yah. One of my favorite words about fear is piety. It is piety. What is piety? It is your duty towards Yah. Let me tell you about the duty towards Yah. Let me teach you that you might be trained how to serve Yah. That's what that is about. So, come children. You children, listen to me. Let me teach you the reverence of Yah. Who is the man who desires life, who loves many days in order to see good? Who doesn't want that? Who has a desire for a good life? Who wants to see many days? Who wants to be filled with joy through their days? Who is the man who desires life, that is to be living, a life worth living, who loves many days in order to see good? So if you want these things, and who doesn't, keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking deceit. We talked about evil last week when we talked about Joseph. What you had intended to be evil, Yah had used for good. And it's the same word, ra, bad, evil. Something that I really got out of this teaching this week is hurtful. Stop being hurtful. Stop causing injury. Stop being wrong. That is what evil can mean. Hurtful, ra. So it is evil. Quit being disagreeable. And if you look at it, the evil and good are the exact opposite of each other. Because when you get into the definition for good, tob, it is good, pleasant, agreeable. Evil is bad, unpleasant, disagreeable. So, continuing on with evil, misery. Stop causing misery. Stop being displeasing. Stop being vicious in disposition. Stop being hurtful. Stop causing injury. Stop doing wrong. Okay? Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking deceit. We have talked about many times before. It is a twofold thing. You can't just do one without the other. They are unified. It is a couple. You got to watch what you say and watch what you do. Okay? So that is what he is continuing on here to say. Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking deceit or from deceiving someone. Turn away from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. So, this is the verse that we wanted to get into this morning, verse 14. Turn away from evil. Turn away from evil and do good. If Yah has prescribed something in his Torah, in his Tanakh for us to do, we are capable of doing it. Okay? So turn away from being vicious in disposition. Turn away from being hurtful. Turn away from causing injury. Turn away from doing wrong. Quit being evil, disagreeable, displeasing. And instead of doing that, do good. That is being pleasant, agreeable. And notice how when he says, turn away from evil and do good, seek peace. Seek peace and pursue it. So you're going to be an agreeable person, a higher nature. You're going to be excellent. Same thing that we talked about last week. Valuable in estimation. You're going to be a valuable person. Okay? People are going to want to be around you. People are going to want to know what you know. People are going to want to learn from you. You're an agreeable person. So, valuable in estimation. You have a good understanding. Turn away from evil and be a benefit. That is what good is. Be a benefit to somebody. Okay? So, it's possible. Now, after you've turned away from evil and you're trying to seek good, you're trying to do good, you want to seek peace and pursue it. So that's with everybody. Okay? You want peace in your life. Everybody wants peace in their life. Seek peace and pursue it. The eyes of Yah are on the righteous. Those are the people who do right. The ones wanting to do right and wanting to do what's right and have a desire to do right. And how many times do you pray, let me be pleasing in your sight? You want to do right. You seek his face. You want to know what his countenance says. You want to know, are you agreeable with him? So, the eyes of Yah are on the righteous and his ears unto their cry. The face of Yah is against evildoers. There's that face again, but it's a face of displeasure. It's not a face of joy. The face of Yah is against evildoers to cut off their remembrance from the earth. Crying out, and Yah heard and delivered them out of their distresses. Yah is near to the brokenhearted and saves those whose spirit is crushed. Many are the evils, trouble, same thing, misery, disposition. Many are the hurts, the injuries, the wrongs of the righteous. Many. But Yah delivers him out of them all. Every single one. Okay? And we've talked about that before, and let me bring it home. The troubles that you had in the past, where are they now? Okay? They're gone. You don't even remember that. Why? Because you have present troubles. You have things that you are presently going through. But I believe everything in our life will serve the purpose of Yah. Okay? And men's devices, we talked about that last week. When Pharaoh said, I'm not going to let you go, who is Yah that I should serve him, Yah said, I'm going to use you to show my power and my might. And like we said, and he continues to remind us, that was not only for Egypt, but that was for Israel. Because they did not know who he was. They remembered who he was, and they heard stories of who he was, but they experienced him that time. They knew who he was then. Something else that he's been teaching us and we've been meditating on. This is how you get to know him. Okay? This is how you get to know him. If you don't want to know him, don't read the word. Okay? If you don't want to know him, don't meditate on the word. But if you do want to know him, read the word, meditate on the word. Okay? So this is just a part of it. It goes beyond this. Okay? Getting the roots of what you know and how you know him is here. Okay? But you think about Abraham. Abraham had a personal relationship with Yah, and he gave him a personal task to do. Okay? Do you walk with Yah? This is how you know him, but knowing him goes deeper than this word. This is how you get a relationship with him. But it goes beyond that. Do you have fellowship with him? Do you walk with him? Does he literally speak with you and tell you things before they even happen? You got to think about that. This is to know him. But it goes deeper than that. The relationship has to be there. So, being hurtful, evil, never pays off. It has no value. Like you said, depart from evil. That is to eschew it, to get away from it. Leave it alone. Depart from evil and do good. Being hurtful, evil never pays off. It has no benefit. It's not good. It has no value. Evil is not good. They're opposites. The hardest part of letting go. Now, we're going to talk about letting go of the evil and doing the good. If we had a title for this message, and you read Isaiah, and I love how Yah expresses himself. He goes, stop doing evil. This is what he said. Just stop doing it. Stop doing the bad. Stop doing evil. If we had a title for this message, that's what it would be. Now, when you have done something for a very long time, it's hard to let go. Okay? So you have all of Israel when they had no one to teach them and no one who was an overseer of them to teach them the ways of doing good. And that's what it says in Isaiah 1, and we'll get into that. It was hard for them to let go. It was hard for them to let go. The hardest part of letting go is when you enjoy the thing that you are doing. Okay? I got this from a conversation that I had. And it was a conversation about food. Okay? If you are feeding your body junk, what does your body crave? Junk. If you are feeding your spirit evil, what does your spirit crave? What does your soul crave? Evil. Okay? So he said, stop doing the evil and do the good. Now, back to dieting and back to eating proper. If you stop eating the fast food and you stop eating the sugar and you put it away from your life and you put the good in, what does your body crave? The good. Now, that's what I love about it. It's either Psalms or Proverbs. Taste and see that Yah is good. Okay? If you have ever tasted him and seen that he is good, tell me you don't want more. Okay? You want more. So if you take out the bad and you choose the good and you do the good, you will crave the good. You know why? Because we are wonderfully and awesomely made. Our bodies want to work for us. Your body wants to do you well. Your body wants to do good for you. But you got to give it the right stuff in order to work for you. And if you're not giving it the right stuff, what's it going to do? It's going to turn against you. So, the hardest part of letting go is when you enjoy the thing you are doing. Am I saying that I'm perfect? By no means. I like Reese cups. I like sugar. I do. But there is a difference in having it once, maybe a week, and after every single meal. There's a difference there. Okay? And we've said this many times before, if you fall off the wagon, what do? You don't beat yourself up and continue to eat horribly. You jump back on the wagon. Everybody makes mistakes. The hardest thing is that we're so hard on ourselves that we have no patience with ourselves. And we don't know that it is a marathon and not a sprint that we're going through. Okay? Life is a journey. He who wants life and to see good, do these things. But we think that we need it now and we want it now, and we're not patient enough to wait for it. The hardest part of letting go is when you enjoy the thing that you are doing. Isaiah 1. Isaiah chapter 1. Sin is so enticing. Sin is so enticing. I see this quote often, and I think it goes something along the lines of, the person who has no purpose seeks pleasure. The person who has no purpose seeks pleasure. Okay? So, men need goals. Okay? Men need something to strive for. And if men don't have something to strive for and don't serve a purpose, what do? They get lazy. Okay? So, men need purpose. Men need a reason to do something. And you know what? When a man has a reason to do something, what does he do? He's ready. He's engaged. He wants to do it. Men need purpose. Okay? So, if you have a goal, you'll shoot for it. If you really want it, you can have it. It's yours. But you got to really want it. And you got to be able to forgive yourself when you make mistakes. And when you make a mistake, you got to jump back on the wagon. And you got to keep pressing on. So, Isaiah 1 and 10. Hear the word of Yah, you rulers of Sodom. Give ear to the Torah of our Elohim, you people of Amorah. So who is he referencing here? He's referencing a sinful people. He's comparing them to a sinful people. And he's saying, listen to my instructions. Okay? You are doing this, but I want you to give ear. I want you to pay attention to my Torah. Verse 11. Of what use to me are your many slaughterings, declares Yah. I have had enough of burnt offerings, of rams, and of the fat of fed beasts. I do not delight in the blood of bulls or of lambs or goats. When you come to appear before me, who has required this of your hand to trample my courtyards? Stop bringing futile offerings. Incense, it is an abomination to me. New moon, Sabaoth, the calling of meetings. I am unable to bear unrighteousness and assembly. So we've talked about that before. That forgiveness, or asking for that forgiveness, it's not going to do you any good if you're not changing your life. Okay? If you're not wanting to do good, if you don't have a desire to be better, it's not going to do you any good. And he said, I'm sick of it. He said, I'm sick of your vain offerings. There's no purpose in them. You continue to do this, but who called you to my courtyard? Who told you to bring that stuff? He said, I'm sick of it. So, my being hates your new moons and your appointed times. They are a trouble to me. I am weary of bearing them. So, even through the patience and long suffering of Yah, he gets sick and tired. He gets sick and tired of dealing with it. So, you know what? Some people's patience runs out when you mistreat them. Okay? Yah was the same way. They mistreated Yah and his patience ran out. My being hates your new moons and your appointed times. They are a trouble to me. I am weary of bearing them. And when you spread out your hands, I hide my eyes from you. Even though you make many prayers, I do not hear. Your hands have become filled with blood. So we make a comparison to that they are guilty. He gives them a charge. Wash yourselves, make yourselves clean, put away evil, the evil of your doings from before my eyes. Stop doing evil. They were so used to it. That's all that they were used to. Do I believe environment affects the things that you do? Certainly. Okay? We have watched hoarders before. Comfort eating. Okay? And you talk to every one of those hoarders or anybody who has ever done comfort eating, If you talk to any of them, there is a underlying trauma that is there, that they are trying to fill that void. You talk to the hoarders, and every one of them, not the same story, but something tragic has happened to them. One man, his wife left, and after his wife left, he never cleaned the house again. A lot of the women that are in there are not satisfied in the house, so what do? They go out and purchase things. And when they purchase things, they forget about the things that they have, and it piles up. Why? Because there is an underlying issue. Okay? So you got to resolve the source of the problem before you can fix what's happening on the outside. Okay? So, what was the source of the problem here? They loved doing evil. It was the heart. That's all they ever knew. That was their environment. They didn't have anybody to be stern with them and to tell them what was right and wrong and to not let them do evil. It says even the priests and the kings were corrupted. No, it was the priests and the prophets, but the kings were corrupted too at that time. They didn't have anybody to look up to. They didn't have anybody to lead them or do right. So he gives them a charge. Wash yourselves, make yourselves clean, put away the evil. Same thing. The misery, put away the displeasing, the vicious disposition. And we'll talk about that too. The hurtfulness, the injury, the wrong. Put it away. Quit being disagreeable. I need you to be pleasant. I need you to be agreeable, higher in nature. I need you to be valuable in estimation. Learn to do good. Verse 17. Learn to do good, seek right ruling, reprove the oppressor, defend the fatherless, plead for the widow. So it was just wickedness in all of Israel. He said, quit doing evil, learn to do good. You've got to take out the old, stop doing the old, and start doing the good. And when you start doing the good, you crave the good. You want to do more good. If you've ever helped anybody out, how does that make you feel? It makes you feel good to try to help somebody. Especially people who cannot return the favor, like the fatherless and the widow. Come now and let us reason together, says Yah. Though your sins are as like scarlet, they shall be white as snow. Though they are red like crimson, they shall be as wool. Nothing to do with the blood offering. Nothing. Come, let us reason. I'll tell you why I'd like you to do these things. I'll tell you why it's a benefit to you. I'll tell you why you should. Come, let us reason together. And then once you understand where I'm coming from, then you will be like wool. Your sins will be forgiven. Once you stop doing evil. If you submit and obey, you shall eat the good of the land. But if you refuse and rebel, you shall be devoured by the sword, for the mouth of Yah has spoken. How the steadfast city has become a whore. I have filled it with right ruling, righteousness lodged in it, but now murderers. Your silver has become dross, your wine is mixed with water. Your rulers are stubborn and companions of thieves. Everyone loves bribes. But what was it? They loved it. They loved doing evil. They had a desire for it. They wanted to do it. And Yah came to them and said, no more. I'm done. I'm going to take care of it. If you continue to do evil, I'm going to send the sword. He said they loved it. They love bribes and runs after rewards. They do not defend the fatherless, nor does the cause of the widow reach them. Therefore the Master declares, Yah of hosts, Almighty of Israel, I shall be eased of my adversaries, and I shall be avenged of my enemies. And I shall turn my hand against you, and shall refine your dross as with lye, and shall remove all your alloy. And I shall give back your judges as at the first, and your counselors as at the beginning. After this you shall be called the city of righteousness, a steadfast city. Zion shall be ransomed with right ruling, and her returning ones with righteousness. And the destruction of transgressors and of sinners is together, and those who forsake Yah shall be consumed. We were talking about the progression of what's going to happen in the end days, and this is how I think it's going to play out. Okay, so Israel's all scattered, and we talk about this often, but we're trying to make the pieces come together. So Israel's scattered. You have the tribulation upon the earth. All men are trying to seek after their idols. Their idols cannot save them. They realize that their idols are no good, and that only Yah is God, is Elohim. Everyone realizes that. Okay? And then at that time, I believe that's when the Exodus will happen. Okay? They will lift us up because they will realize that just as in Egypt, He's with us. Just as in Egypt, they're going to take us up, they're going to give us their gold, and they're going to ship us off. And as it said last week, they were ready for them to go. They were pushing them out. What do you want? Get out of here. You are destroying our land. So they were ready, and they're going to be ready for you to go. Okay? If you read through the prophets, it says that your kids will be on the backs of princes. Okay? They're going to be ready for you to go. And this is what I believe. They're going to put us all in the land. Now, the land is the size of a penny right now. Okay? But maybe in that time, I'm not quite sure at that, we will receive the whole land. Okay? And then, if you read about Gog and Magog, it says that there is peace in Israel at that time. So this is what I'm thinking. After all that happens, peace in Israel, okay? And then Gog from Magog, all the nations know that we're all there. We got them all where we want them. They're going to try to destroy us, okay? But then Yah's going to come back and He says, and the destruction of transgressors and of sinners is together, and those who forsake Yah shall be consumed. And that's when I'll take care of them. Because when there's peace, and this is what I'm connecting that with, when there's peace in Israel, there are still unbelievers outside. Why? Because He says that anyone who does not come up for the feast will not receive rain. So there will be some during that time who are unbelievers, who will not come up to serve Yah, even after that they've realized that their idols cannot save them. Step by step. And then He's going to destroy them. That's what I believe. According to what I know, that's what I believe. So, and the destruction of transgressors and of sinners is together, and those who forsake Yah shall be consumed. They loved bribes. They chose evil because they enjoyed it. It became their way of living. Who does He hear? He hears the righteous. What did Yah say? He said, stop doing evil. If He gave them the command, it was fairly well within their ability to do it. Now, did He say, stop doing evil when you're so used to it was going to be easy? No. Did He say that you're going to need help? Did He say that you're going to need support? We're all going to have to do it together? That's what's going to have to happen. Okay? That's why Israel shall be saved. Because Israel is going to have to come together to be one nation in order to help each other. Okay? So, He didn't say it was going to be easy. You will be forgiven when you stop doing the evil, when you stop being hurtful, displeasing, when you stop causing injury and doing wrong. The hardest part of letting go is when you enjoy the very thing that you have to let go. If you're addicted to fast food and you know fast food is bad for you, the hardest thing to do is stop eating fast food because you like it. And you know what? It's made that way. You know why it's so hard to let go of sugar? Because it's made that way. It's made for you to be addicted to it. Okay? Pharmaceuticals, we talk about that often. They don't heal the source, they heal the symptoms. Why? Because if you do not have returning customers, you lose money. Cigarettes, they're addicting. Sugar, it's addicting. Why? Because they want to keep you coming. They want to keep you addicted. That's why. Okay? Because if you do not return, they lose out on money. Because that's what it's all about. You are the product, y'all. Y'all. And that's not even a word. Y'all. You all. That's not even it's just you are the product. They want you. Okay? Have you ever noticed, let's just go ahead and bring it home a little bit more. When you look up something on your phone, they're watching your phone. Okay? The next thing that you see on Facebook is something that you just looked up. You know why? Because you have a specific person catered to look at you.
You turn it off.
Well, I'm just saying, do you ever wonder? Okay, Jason said you can turn it off. If you want to turn it off, just flip it off. But I'm trying to make a point here that they are watching you. Okay? You are the product. So, moving on. The very thing, notice, the hardest part of letting go is when you enjoy the very thing that you have to let go, the very thing that is killing you. Okay? You think about Egypt and Israel. Israel in Egypt. They weren't ready to go. And even when they left, I want to go back. Sometimes I just blame all that on David, just because of watching that movie. But anyway, they wanted to go back. Our life was better when they were there. And they don't realize that the thing that they were trying or thinking about enjoying was the very thing that was killing them. It was destroying them. They were slaves. They were literally saying, I want to go back to be a slave just so I can eat melons. The very thing that is killing you, the sugar, the unhealthy eating, the high, you get high from eating sugar. Okay? They made it to be addicting. Any sin is the same way. It is addicting, but the very thing that is killing you. Comfort eating, hoarding, these people have deeper, unresolved issues, traumatic events. Every single one of them. You watch it. There is something that's going on in their life that makes them do that. Okay? One guy, I don't know if y'all want to know this, but I'm going to tell you. One guy, I think his wife had passed away. And because of her leaving, he had separation anxiety. He had separation involved in that. And he collected rats. Yeah. And he said, they'll never leave me. So there's a trauma there that the person is trying to feel. There is a trauma. We're all messed up to some degree. We have all had something happen to us that has messed us up. Okay? We've got to move on past that. You got to address it first, though. And if you don't seek help, you're never going to address it. You're never going to get better. Proverbs 24. You've got to resolve the underlying issue. Proverbs 24 and 13. My son, notice what he says here. Eat honey, for it is good, and the honeycomb, sweet to your taste. Know that wisdom is thus to your being. So if you taste honey, you know that it is good. Know that wisdom is thus to your being. If you have found it, there is a future, and your expectancy is not cut off. Let's talk about honey for a second. Honey has benefits, okay? But if you read through Proverbs also, it's either in 16:24 or 25:27 and 28, and we'll get to that. If you eat too much honey, you'll get sick, okay? And there's one part where it says, eat what is sufficient for you. It's just like knowledge. Here we go. You ready? Drum roll. Some people are too smart for their own good. Some people know too much. And if you know too much, you can never relate to anybody. Okay, if you look in Ecclesiastes, he says, why do you want to be too wise and destroy yourself? So you've got to be able to balance it out. I hope we all like honey. You might like, I don't like honey. I like molasses. But anyway, honey. Honey has benefits. Okay? Honey has benefits. It has healing effects. It is an antibacterial, an anti-inflammatory, cough suppressant, antioxidants. It is good for heart health. It will lower blood pressure. It will improve cholesterol. So, when he relates to honey here, it's not just good for the taste. It heals you. You can put it on wounds. It heals you. So when he said eat honey, realize that he's talking about knowledge to your soul. It will heal you. Forsake the good, or forsake the evil, depart from evil, and do good. Proverbs 16 and 24. We'll read that verse. You have an expectancy when you crave knowledge. when you want to know. Proverbs 16 and 24. Pleasant words are like a honeycomb, sweet to the being and healing to the bones. There you go. Healing. Proverbs 25 and 27. Proverbs 25 and 27. It is not good to eat much honey. It is esteemed to seek one's own esteem. It is not good to eat much honey. It is esteemed to seek one's own esteem. So it is not good to eat too much honey. It is not good to seek one's own esteem. A broken down city without a wall is a man who has no control over his spirit. So you eat the honey, you have no control, you continue to eat, you'll get sick. You have to know when to stop. When is enough for you? I've come too far. When I was 220 pounds, I went too far. When I couldn't bend down and pick up I went too far. Okay? When is too much? When is it enough? So, some people are too smart for their own good. When we start to replace the bad with the good, our bodies crave the good. Notice he said it is sweet to the soul. It is sweet to the nefesh, the being. It is healing. When you get a taste of how good that Yah is, you only want more. Your body, your mind craves what you feed it. And then you talk about your gut health. Your gut health affects your whole body. Okay? Now, I do want to touch on that for a second because we have also been watching My 600-Pound Life. And the thing that they are trying to conquer is what? Their mind. It's their mind. If you can't conquer your mind, if you have no control or discipline over your mind, you're not going to get anywhere. Okay? Because your mind will control you. So on the other aspect of that, you have to control what goes into your mind. You have to control what you are listening to. If you don't control what's coming in, it can ruin you. Okay? So notice, they are all fighting the mind. We all fight the difference between feelings and logic. Logic says this, but I feel this way. Sometimes you need to listen to logic. Sometimes you need to listen to your feelings. But you got to be able to balance out the two. So, your body, your mind, soul, nefesh, what you feed it, it craves. Feed it junk, it'll crave the junk. Feed it good food, it craves the good food. Jeremiah 23, and we'll close out. Before we get into this, give you a little background on what we're going to talk about in Jeremiah 23, is Christianity has been packaged so well. It has been packaged so well to where you have a desire for it. Okay? Notice Christianity, the effects of Christianity only work ideally on a crushed person. On somebody who's at their wit's end. Somebody who can't go any further. Somebody who's been damaged. Oh, don't worry, Jesus can heal you. That's when it works best. But anybody who can think logically and without emotion understands that there are some things in Christianity with loopholes. Things that aren't working out. Things that don't meet up. Things that don't match with Scripture. When you start looking at it logically, you see, and you cut out the emotion, you see that the foundation is not firm. Jeremiah 23 and verse 9. My heart within me is broken because of the prophets. Nevaim. All my bones shake. I am like a drunken man and like a man overcome by wine because of Yah and because of his set apart words. So this is Jeremiah, the only one speaking, the only one teaching the truth. And now you have all these false prophets that are around him saying, peace, peace, everything's good. For the land is filled with adulterers, for the land mourns because of a curse. The pastures of the wilderness are dried up, and their course is evil, and their might is not right. Both the Nevi'im and the Cohen have become defiled. They had nobody to depend on. Nobody. and even the kings at that time. Even in my house I have found their evil, declares Yah. Therefore their way is to them like slippery ways in the dark. They are driven on, and they shall fall in them. For I bring evil on them, the year of their punishment, declares Yah. And I have seen folly in the Nevi'im of Shemaron. They prophesied by Baal, the Lord, and led my people Israel astray. Prophesied by Baal and led Israel astray. They prophesied by Jesus and led Israel astray. And among the Nevi'im of Jerusalem, I have seen a horrible matter, committing adultery and walking in falsehood. And they strengthen the hands of the evil one, so that no one turns back from his evil. That's it. That's the nail in the coffin. That's it. That's Christianity. No one turns away because they're covered. No one has a responsibility because the responsibility has been taken. And they strengthen the hands of evil ones so that no one turns back from his evil. All of them are like Sodom to me, and her inhabitants like Amorah. Therefore, thus said Yah of hosts concerning the Nevi'im, see, I am making them eat wormwood that's poison, and shall make them drink poisoned water, for defilement has gone out into all the land from the Nevi'im of Jerusalem. Thus said Yah of hosts, do not listen to the words of the Nevi'im who prophesy to you. They lead you astray. They speak a vision of their own heart, not from the mouth of Yah. We heard the sister talk about last week when Jason was doing the message. That was a really good message about the virgin birth. If the virgin birth happened today, nobody would believe it. People would think that she was crazy. And I've seen a movie like that before, which testifies that they were Catholics. That the Catholics believe wholeheartedly in the Immaculate Conception. And when she came and said that this is a miracle, I'm having a virgin birth, they didn't believe her. They didn't believe her. And the rest of the movie plays out, and it's pretty awful what happens. But they didn't believe her. So that was a really good message. Now, what we had talked about, the sister commented last week, was how did Christianity become so popular? How did it make it this far? Because anybody who did not believe was killed. And you know what? That's survival of the fittest. Since they had the army, they had the ability. If you didn't believe, you didn't convert over to Christianity, you were dead. They massacred the Jews, anybody who did not want to believe. That's what they did. So how did it survive this long? By blood. It was covered with innocent blood.
Threats.
Huh?
Threats.
Threats. Yep. If you didn't convert, you're going to die. I'll take your family. I'll do this to you if you don't convert. And you know what? There were Jews who stood up and did not convert. And they lost their lives. But that's how it made it so far. And that's how it's popular today. Because they don't know where it came from. They don't know why that it becomes so strong. And all that will happen again. So, and you talk about preachers in Christianity. And this hits home. Thus said Yah of hosts, do not listen to the words of the Nevi'im who prophesy to you. They lead you astray. They speak a vision of their own heart, not from the mouth of Yah. So there are people out there that prophesy. There are people out there that say, this is the word of God, this and that. And he said, just because they prophesy and they say that, it's from their own heart. They keep on saying to those who despise me, Yah has said, you shall have peace. And to all who walk according to the stubbornness of their own heart, no evil comes upon you. For who has stood in the counsel of Yah, and who has seen and heard his word, who has listened to his word and obeyed it? See, a storm of Yah shall go forth in rage, and a whirling storm, it whirls on the head of the wicked. The displeasure of Yah shall not turn back until he has done and established the purposes of his heart. In the latter days you shall understand it perfectly. To see Yah is righteous, turn from evil. I do not send these Nevi'im, yet they ran. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesied. But if they had stood in my counsel, then they would have let my people hear my words, and they would have turned from their evil way and from the evil of their deeds. Turn. Do good. Christianity is the same way. People are scared to leave it. What will the people think of me? The thing that they love is the very thing that's killing them. How did Christianity become so popular? It was forced on the people. Anyone who didn't obey was tortured and threatened with their lives. That's how it got to where it is today. Stop doing evil. I didn't tell you it was going to be easy. Yah didn't tell you it was going to be easy. Especially if you've done something for so long. But when you start doing the good, you start feeling better, you want more good because of how good that you feel. Okay? Yah's good. Everybody have a wonderful day. Shabbat Shalom. Israel.